Chapter 8 of Grammarland by M. L. Nesbit. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Dr. Verb. The next part of speech called up before Judge Grammar to give an account of himself was Dr. Verb. He came bustling up with an air of great importance. "My lord, my name is Verb. I am called Verb because verb means word, and the verb is the most important word, the word, in fact, in every sentence." "The most important word?" cried Mr. Noun, interrupting him. "My lord, he says the verb is the most important word in every sentence. Why, Dr. Verb, you know that you cannot give the name of a single thing, for all names are nouns and belong to me. The verb the most important word, indeed, when I have the name of everything." "I know that," answered Dr. Verb. "I know very well that when people want to name a thing, they must use a noun. But do you suppose that when they have simply named a thing, they have made a sentence? Not a bit of it. To make a sentence, you must tell something about the thing that you have named. You must say whether it is, or has, or does anything, as ice is cold, puss has a tail, blackbirds sing. Is, has, sing are verbs, and so are all words that speak of being, having, or doing, and without some such word you cannot make a sentence. "You think so, Dr. Verb," said the judge, "but I should like it to be proved. Brother Parsing, just call some of the other parts of speech forward, and let them try to make a sentence without Dr. Verb." "I will, my lord," answered Sergeant Parsing. "Noun, adjective, and article, be kind enough to step forward, and each of you give me a word." "Sun," said Mr. Noun. "Bright," said adjective. "Thee," said little article. "Very good," said Sergeant Parsing. "Now I will put them together. Sun, bright, the. The, bright, sun. The sun, bright. They do not seem to make quite a proper sentence, my lord, anyway." "Of course not," said Dr. Verb, interrupting, "for when you say the bright sun, which sounds the best of the three ways, you still have not made a sentence, for you have not said whether the bright sun is shining or is not shining, or whether you can see it or what it does. The sun bright, of course, is nonsense, but say the sun is bright, and then you tell a fact about the sun, and you have made a sentence fit to set before the king." "You had better try Mr. Noun again, Brother Parsing," said Judge Grammar. "Perhaps he can give you a more convenient word." Sergeant Parsing turned again to Mr. Noun and asked for another word. "Hippopotamus," answered Mr. Noun. Mr. Adjective gave fat. "Now, little article, give me a," said Sergeant Parsing, "and I will put them together. Hippopotamus, fat, a. A fat hippopotamus. A hippopotamus, fat." It sounds odd." "A fat hippopotamus does not sound wrong," put in Mr. Noun. "Not wrong, of course," answered Dr. Verb. "You may mention a fat hippopotamus if you like, or any other animal, but unless you tell something about it, you have not made a sentence. Say that it is, or has, or did something, if you want to make a sentence, like, a fat hippopotamus is here, or a hippopotamus has a fat body, or a hippopotamus ate me up, or swam away, or something of that sort. Then you will have some famous sentences, but you will have had to use verbs to make them, for is, has, ate, swam are all verbs, for they are all words that speak of being, having, or doing. "How can we always find out if a word is a verb?" asked Sergeant Parsing. "It is sure to be a verb if you can put a little to before it," answered Dr. Verb. "To be, to have, to do, to eat, to drink, to swim, to fly, to speak, to think, to run, to dance, to play, to sing, to sleep, to wake, to laugh, to cry, to call, to fall. And Dr. Verb stopped, quite out of breath. "That sounds very easy," said Sergeant Parsing. "Let me try it with the words that you said were verbs. To is, to has, to ate, to swam." "Stop, stop!" cried Dr. Verb. "Not like that. You must not put to before any part of the verb you like. Is part of the verb to be. Has is part of the verb to have." "Is part of the verb to be?" said Sergeant Parsing. "What do you mean? Why, the two words have not a single letter alike." "True, but still they mean the same sort of thing. When a countryman says, 'He be a brave lad,' he means the same thing as, 'He is a brave lad,' or when he says, 'I be too tired,' he means, 'I am too tired.' Is and am ought to be used according to the laws of Grammarland instead of be, but as they both express something about being, they are said to be parts of the verb to be. In the same way, has is part of the verb to have, ate is part of the verb to eat, and swam is part of the verb to swim." "That is very learned, I dare say," said Sergeant Parsing. "But will you kindly tell us, Dr. Verb, how we are to guess that am, or any other word that has neither a be nor an e in it, is part of the verb to be?" "You cannot guess, of course," retorted Dr. Verb sharply. "I never said you were to guess. You must use your reason to find out whether they have the same sort of meaning. Or if you like it better, learn the song that Mr. Pronoun and I have made up, to bring in all the different parts of the verb." "A song?" said Judge Grammar in surprise. "I did not know that you could sing, Dr. Verb, but let us hear your song, by all means." "If you will not interrupt me, my lord, I will give you 3 verses of it," answered Dr. Verb. "No, we will not interrupt," said the judge. So Dr. Verb began. The song of the verb to be. Present tense. I am, thou art, he is. We are, you are, they are. Past tense. I was, thou wast, he was. We were, you were, they were. Future tense. I shall be, thou wilt be, he will be. We shall be, you will be, they will be. When he had finished, everyone burst out laughing. "And you call that singing, do you, Dr. Verb?" said the judge. "Dr. Syntax there calls it conjugating, I believe," said Dr. Verb, "but I think singing is a prettier and easier name for it." "But it is not a song at all," said the judge, nearly laughing again. "There is no tune in it, and no rhyme." "It is the best that Pronoun and I could make alone," said Dr. Verb angrily, "but it can be easily made to rhyme if the other parts of speech will help. Listen. Present tense. I am an Englishman merry and bold. Thou art a foreigner out in the cold. He is a beggar man hungry and old. We are not happy to see you out there. You are too snug and warm ever to care. They are at home with us now, I declare." "That will do," interrupted the judge. "We do not want to hear any more today. Another day I shall want to know what you mean by calling the verses present tense, past tense, and future tense, why you have just 6 of your words in each tense, and whether other verbs can be conjugated in the same way." "I can answer at once that they can, my lord," said Dr. Verb. "Indeed, very few verbs change as much as the verb to be, so that they are all easier to conjugate, as I have, thou hast, he has. We have, you have, they have. I live, thou livest, he lives. We live, you live, they live." "Enough for today, Dr. Verb," interrupted the judge once more. "We will hear about them next time. Meanwhile, as we shall have further examination of this verb to be, I should like my friends in Schoolroomshire to make a copy of it to bring with them. I shall also request them to find out all the verbs in the following verses. "Sit to your task," a father said, "nor play nor trifle, laugh nor talk, and when your lesson well is read, you all shall have a pleasant walk." He left the room. The boys sat still, each gravely bent upon his task. But soon the youngest, little Will, of fun and nonsense chose to ask. "My ball is lost," the prattler cried. "Have either of you seen my ball?" "Pray mind your book," young Charles replied. "Your noisy words disturb us all." The court then rose. End of section 8, read by Kara Schallenberg in November 2010 in San Diego, California.